So picking up where we left off, I'm going to come up to File, Open Template, and we're going to choose DV Landscape. Now the idea here is that once we've created that template, it's always going to open the template when we go to File, Open Template as an untitled document, meaning that we're not making any changes to our original template file. That's a completely separate thing. I'm going to go ahead and make sure that I'm working on my canvas. And what I want to do here is I want to just go ahead and create some gibberish artwork. So I'm going to come over and open up maybe my pastel category and choose the worn oil pastel. That'll work just fine. And change my colors to something like so. And what I want to do now is just begin to work maybe something like so. So let's say that I'm happy with that. I'm ecstatic with it. It's awesome, whatever. And what I want to do now is I want to save this document out. Well, if I go to File, Save, and let's just go ahead and save it on the desktop, and we'll just call this one JSON, like so. And we'll just leave it as a riff and leave the embedded profile on, hit Save. And then we just make some more changes to it. So I'm just going to come over and maybe I'm going to begin working something like that. And maybe I'll take advantage of the arc like so. And now say I want to save again. So I go File, Save. Now, I don't need to go through that whole giving it a name and everything because it's already been saved once. You can see it's still a JSON riff. If I minimize Painter real quick though, and we look on the desktop, you'll see that we end up with JSON riff like we wanted, but we also end up with this JSON_BAK .riff. What does that mean? Well, this is a backup file, meaning that every time we save, whatever our previous save was will be moved to our backup file. And this way, we have one version back that we can go as far as keeping a backup. Let's say that we don't want to have backups automatically created. Well, if we come to Edit, Preferences, and we go to General, you'll see there's an option here in the Preferences for Create Backup on Save. You can just turn that off if you don't want a backup made. Now, alternately, if we do some more work here and we just say, okay, well, you know, I'm working on this and maybe I'm starting to develop my composition the way that I want it to be. Now, if instead of going to save, if I go to iterative save, and then I just go ahead and continue working like so. So I'll just go ahead and put in some more, and then I'll do File, Iterative Save, and maybe I'll just do a little bit more work, something really obvious. File, Iterative Save. Now if we go ahead and minimize this and we look on the desktop, you'll see that we have JSON riff, but that hasn't changed. Instead, we're getting JSON 01 riff, JSON 002 riff, JSON 003 riff. So every time we do an iterative save, we're getting another version of the file that has a different number. This can be very useful if you want to be able to go back to different stages in your document, because you can have hundreds of these. As you can see, the numbers go up to 999 as your possible numbers for how many iterative saves you can have. Now you can fill up your hard disk very quickly if you're using large file sizes and you're using the iterative save. However, I do recommend that you use either the backup function of Painter or that you use the iterative save, because only having one document can really get you in trouble if your Coreal Painter file gets corrupted, which does happen sometimes. So it's always a good idea to save either using the backup function or using the iterative save.